Welcome back to Blue Jay Bonsai. On today's episode, I'm going to be working on my tiger bark ficus, the one I call Get to the Choppa. At least I used to. I just call him Chopper now. Chopper had a great summer outside, just growing big and healthy and vigorous. I have actually pruned him several times off camera. The last time being when I brought him indoors for the winter. And here you can see what he looked like the last time you saw him back in March of this year. There's a few things I'd like to work on today. First of all, the lack of taper in this trunk section. And of course, the wire that is now biting in. And of course, these really long shoots that have just taken off since he's come indoors for the winter. The inner nodes are really long. I think that's an indication that the grow light in my IKEA greenhouse is just not strong enough. So as usual, I'm going to start by pruning those back, even if these branches are not going to be part of the final design today. It just helps me to get a better look at what's going on up here in the canopy. Plus, it gives us a chance to have a carnage cam. I go back to the first or second leaf on the branch, and it also depends on which direction I want the branch to go in future, which we call directional pruning. On this branch, I already have a nice division to 2 at the end, so I don't need that other piece. And now for the worst carnage cam in the history of Blue Jay Bonsai. I had forgotten to hit record, and I was actually recording while I was cleaning up. So there's your carnage cam. And now it's a perfect excuse to use my new Ryuga wire cutters that I got from the Garden Cafe. I know a lot of people try to reuse their wire. I just find it very relaxing and therapeutic to cut away this wire. Just snip, snip, snip. And that reminds me, one of the things that had been troubling me about this tree is this pigeon breast. I like to call it a pot belly, but in bonsai they call it a pigeon breast, where the tree trunk is starting out, coming out towards you first. So as part of the redesign, I'm going to try and do something there. On the top part of the trunk, the wire was really biting in. So it took a combination of snipping at the wire and peeling it out of the grooves with my fingers. With the hard part over, it was pretty easy to remove the rest of the wire, and this is what we were left with. The worst part of the wire bite is here on the top part of the trunk. But that might not matter so much, because as I mentioned earlier, I'm not so happy with the lack of taper in the upper part of the trunk. So, for me, that's the perfect opportunity to use my hybrid cutters for a nice big chop. But don't you worry, I'll definitely be trying to root this cutting. To address the pigeon breast issue, I'm thinking of making one of the sides the front and repositioning the tree up on more of an angle. Now, the main issue with this side is it does have a lot of scarring. So regardless of which side we choose as the new front, I'm going to need to put some wire on, and then we can experiment a little bit and choose. In this case, I felt like a second wire was necessary, both to help move and bend the branches and hold them in place, as well as to support the branches to prevent any accidental cracking or breakage. And with the wires in place, it's time to bend things around into their new position, keeping in mind the new planting angle. So unfortunately, I didn't capture it on camera, but I did actually tilt the tree up onto its new angle and backfilled with some soil to hold it in place. I think you can see from all the previous wounds on this side of the tree why I decided to go with the opposite side as the new front. I decided to take the opportunity while I was working on this tree to go ahead and do some work on these old scars. I'm going to use one of my smaller carving chisels to just rework the edges of the original cut, open it back up, and to hopefully promote the rolling over and hopefully eventual closing up of this wound. I don't remember cutting any branches off this low down on the trunk, so I think these are original from when I first got it. Ultimately, I do like the new styling direction that I've taken this tiger bark ficus. Ultimately, it could change again. I may remove either this back side branch completely as new branches potentially grow out on the new leader, or, move things around again. There's lots of room for future improvements. We'll just have to wait and see how it grows out. Thanks for watching, and if you like this type of content, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment to let YouTube know and to let me know you'd like to see more videos like this.